I would say we start at like 7:40.
Yeah, we'll start another 10. Tiana said she's running a bit late, but she's like hustling to get here, so great.
I had to have the meal replacement.
Well, meal replacement twice a day.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other percent.
I know I had lunch.
Oh, you should.
So that's what the live stream sees, and my computer's graphics card is like.
Yeah, it has been up a little bit.
Really? It's like green screen?
But the problem is they're not going to be able to tell what's on the screen at all.
Yeah.
And that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like it just looks like a white.
I can turn the light.
Yeah.
Well, that might help. What I was actually thinking of doing
Is there a reason you guys feel instead of just doing like a go-to meeting and like have it in a
Well, we could. It's just we just wanted to try it like just so they could see what was actually happening in the room. Okay. We could also do that. I don't have access to GoTo.
So even with a free account, you can do quite a bit. I know for the youth
And then
organization.
someone would have to someone have to like sit at the back.
No, you
here.
can even pre-record it. That's the beauty, right? But then switch to live question session. It's pretty sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we're having this live event here, how would I have them like simulate being in the room?
I guess, yeah. That's the one thing, right? Like the beauty of it is you had no tech issues and everything runs smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
But then I guess if you want the people here, it depends what you want, right? Do you want to be more interactive here, or if you have more people watching than you do it here, then you want to be just as interactive?
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah, we're just totally like trying this out tonight to see what happened.
Yeah, trial run.
There could be people watching this right now, so if they are, hello. I have no idea. Yeah, my graphics card is like.
That's awesome. Free green screen.
It's good. It's good time. This is what happens, and sometimes it just shuts down sporadically. Like my computer will it may just turn off at some point for this person.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what, actually, I just thought with the go-to meetings, there is, you can have a webcam in the slide.
Yeah, I've seen people do that.
Like, I haven't personally done it, but you can do it.
Yeah, I have seen it done. Yeah, we'll have to put some more thought into how to make this part of it awesome. I know that the best way to do it ideally is to not even use this camera, but to plug in a separate video camera where I can actually, like, someone can be the camera person.
Is there some way to like run that PowerPoint simultaneously on the computer?
Yes, but it's too much tech to figure out right now. Yeah, there is. There totally is.
Yeah, that's what
Matt's watching. Matt, what's up?
Can you hear everything?
Can you hear us, Matt? Text me if you can hear me. That's our sound check.
Oh, is that right?
Okay, can you give me the password again?
Maybe that's part of it.
Capital T-O-R-O-N.
Is this Connors Toronto? That's the...
Yeah, there's 3G and a 5G.
Yeah.
Didn't know there was a 5G.
T-O-R-O-N. Toron.
I like going to the stage.
9731.
Really?
Yeah. We had it. Did you exchange anyone?
Did you guys meet in Australia?
Do you have the clicker on your phone?
I'm not touching that right now.
Through a
Okay.
series of serendipitous events.
Yeah.
When you know, you know.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Right, Dave.
So where do you move it to? Or do you know? Just
She's
one
on
place
TV.
I scoped out, but there's so many people.
Matt just said that you look stunning. He just said that. He just texted me to say that.
Tell him it's isogenics.
With the buddy.
He knows. He already knows.
That would be amazing because I do work some late nights anyway. So the fact that, or it wouldn't be late night really, because sure I did 7:30, but I'm here like behind it, right? So
That's only in
that'd
the
be
States, but in
really
Canada.
screwed up, chicken. Yeah,
It would be
which
funny
now
if
finally is
everything
better
he
that
did
they
was in another
finished the
country,
track
so
repair
we
in the
really
last
knew.
6 months.
I hosted a show, but it's
So
in Thailand.
you get off the
You
hill
probably
and then you have to take the
I
bus.
mean, it's in Thailand.
And the buses,
I'm really
you haven't come for
it's on
like
Just
Brigitte introduced me on Roger Talbot one time for nutrition.
just
They were amazing.
She interviewed me on Roger's television one time. That's how we met. We met in the
like already there's so
interview on
many
TV.
sites on my
Actually,
to travel and trade shows and stuff. It's awesome.
which is a small world.
It's good when
His
the company.
teacher-
So does Steven.
You can align with.
So did Neil's girlfriend.
Values what you do, and-
Also my sister.
Yeah, no. It's,
Yeah, Steve went to Gaza? You didn't.
No way.
So you know the other
I would have done. Yes, yes.
Okay, didn't know.
No, I met
No,
him
sorry for
briefly
today,
at Super Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah, what kind
Yeah.
of hours do you do?
But you're-
So, no, it's just like, I get salary and commission, there's no real hours, right? Well,
Yeah, I got it.
there you go.
The remote?
Yeah, Alan A. Martin. Oh, yes, yes, okay.
I went to Allen. Did you
That's
check?
way better.
You went to Allen? Both of you guys? What birthday are you guys?
85. Why, did you go there too?
No, Jenny went there. You guys are ahead of her though.
Mm.
Jenny Johnson.
We are live streaming now.
Yeah.
I know.
We have Carol and Matt.
Hey Carol, hey Matt.
Yeah.
That's only 3 grades, so she must be.
That's why I love that everybody is.
What's that?
Oh,
Like
like
6 inches.
Yeah.
How's that?
That's why I love the Alan Martin, everybody do each other. So if she was there.
Rehearse, what does that mean?
Well, I want that to show up here, but I want the actual presentation to show up here.
Oh man, do extend the screen and not.
Apple? Did anyone work at Apple?
Oh, you did.
Oh right,
There's a way. I don't use Mac, so I don't know. But
No,
there's
you're right.
like-
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so don't mirror the display.
Okay, you'll have another opportunity there.
But when I hit play,
So you should. It should be extended, and you should be able to like drag it on. Is that?
but it's showing the presentation here.
So you just have to switch the screens. Make one your main
Can
display.
you help?
No, I don't use
Yeah.
Windows.
That's why I need to my
I
screen.
think
Oh,
I've got
okay.
this. I think I've got
I'm a Windows guy, so I just. I don't know.
Steven, do you know?
Nope. Windows.
Attaboy.
Oh, thanks for trying.
Well, it's under display options and extend display. It's where it would be. He does know.
He does know.
It's Max,
He
though. It's
spent
not
4
so
months
simple.
helping people.
Yeah, we're also just waiting for, I think, 2 more people, and I don't want to start before Tiana comes.
Or two, maybe to check this.
Hey man, how's it going?
Oh, listen. Just
Good.
thinking out loud.
How does it?
Display preference.
Yeah, you did. That was especially for you.
Because right now you're seeing 2 screens, right?
Yeah.
I love your
So you got it, you
Oh,
Scott.
you're online. How's that view?
Like, can you drag the presentation on that screen?
No.
Cool. Probably can't.
I can just do this. But that's what I had
Well,
before.
okay.
Would you,
Yeah.
Wake up and go to the gym and then just work.
So do you know
Yeah,
Seamus?
I know Shamus, so I actually used to sit in this desk.
Anyway,
I used to
that'll
work here.
be a good
I
turn.
used to work here.
Yeah.
So Shamus
It's
and I
gotta
have
be
to
in the,
touch.
somewhere in the
That's
email
nice.
preferences.
Or 7.
Yeah, I don't work in the area anymore, but, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Use
Yeah.
alternate
Yeah.
display to view presenter information.
Yeah, but that's small gym stuff.
Unclick.
It's busy.
Which one is
They
it?
got,
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Hopefully, there'll be an audio presentation.
Then,
So the slides are just there to
Yeah.
aid it.
I kept telling Shamus, like, don't worry, I'll show up to one of these things like I was out of town. But
When I go in the morning, I'm
Yeah,
not busy, but I usually like going.
you can't
Yeah,
ask me
well, I guess about packages or days.
what
where-
time to
and I
work.
still don't want to mirror, but
That's what I feel about you, I think.
Oh, wow.
For a while, you
So,
going at
check it
6.
out.
Yeah, for a while, it's
Okay,
together. I
that's
like
what
going
I'm
at
saying.
11.
I'm gonna go back to mirror,
So she just
and
found
then
one.
I think this
It's funny
might.
because I'm listening to you interact, which is probably feedback from our conversation.
Yeah.
Here and make it the same.
One day we will have our own chat.
Anyway, we'll get started then, and I'll try after.
Right?
Cool, bye.
It doesn't matter. Honestly, I don't
For
need
a
to
while, I
have
was
the
like,
whole
back to
display.
Well, did you go to play customize presenter display? Is that what you just?
Yeah.
That just customizes where, like, what the presenter display looks like. It doesn't customize. Just give people another few minutes because I know for sure there's
Almost 7:40.
Okay.
I do.
I can direct.
She said I should love it.
Yeah. All the way through to the end.
I remember you
There's a
see,
plug
if
there?
I'm prepared,
Yeah.
I
Is it
swear
right
to
below
God,
that?
it would be crap. If I had no plan, just walked in there, linked it, it's an A every time.
Sit around.
Correct. The best thing you ever wanted.
My last thing is
Yeah.
library.
Are you?
No, that's for your viewing and experiencing pleasure.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
experiencing
good.
pleasure. Maybe that's a better way to say that.
When you-
Is it Peter something? Kelly?
No, I think
I've
I
had
don't think I could choose one.
Every Peter Kelly
Shamus,
CD.
sorry, where's your restroom? Is it?
Yeah, right to the left.
I guess it would really depend on what it is.
Does it see the CDs?
Pretty bad.
Have you heard any of Peter's stuff?
It's not much that you can see.
Yeah.
Pretty exceptional lady.
Yeah.
She's from Australia. She was almost done her PhD in. I mean, did she stop like a month short out? Did she stop a month short? She's just like, I'm not feeling it. And then she went away and traveled. Her friend introduced her to this. She's like, I don't know if this is. She did her best to. She did her best to make it not work. She's like, I don't believe in this stuff. She had amazing results. She was like, oh, weird. And then she really started diving into the business and learning about it. And
Beverly,
she
come
got
and
to know
meet
the side.
Amy.
Well, she's a maxed out business, so she'll be
Is it Brett?
Yeah.
Me too.
Just now, she's 26.
How you doing?
And it's just really, she is not for sure. Have you guys heard Simon Sinek before? Start with why. The whole thing is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So it's most companies market what, how, why. Right? Buy what you do. So how well they're nice. Yeah, why they don't think about someone like Apple. They go from the outside in. So they're like, we believe in challenging the status quo. We do this, how, why, easy to use, beautifully designed, streamlined. Yeah, so what is what we have? I'm very interested. So people buy why you do. So she's huge about vision.
I was gonna ask Brigitte if she has a
Her vision for young people. I mean, this stuff is very much why, how, what. Right? The why is why are we doing this? Why would you even enter?
How many people are on here?
Why would you want to live?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we're gonna start very soon. We know you can't see what's on the screen. Sorry about that. We'll figure it out for next time, and just hopefully still get the idea through listening.
Right.
So Tiana caught the wrong bus, and she's gonna be here closer to 8. So we'll just get started. And Alexis, I don't know where she is, but she's coming. So
I'm gonna sit over there, so anyone that comes in, I can sit here if you want to. Okay. It's Brigitte.
She's just in the washroom?
Hey. We can start with that. Alexis was supposed to be here with a playlist, so you're also lacking the pump up music right now. I'm missing Alexis' playlist.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were waiting.
No. Well, we are, but they're going to be later than like 5 minutes, so we're just going to go.
Okay, cool.
The chairs.
They're late, so. They be like grade 2s on the floor on the front.
Okay. Studying too. Nice. Does not waste a minute.
Here, go for it.
Sorry, should I stand here?
I don't know.
I feel like I should have a podium. Okay, well, everyone, thank you so much for coming to Team Ignite's very first Wellness Wednesday. Woo! We're super pumped. We're really excited for all of you because this is going to be a great presentation put on by Dave and all of us here. But you're all here because of one of 2 reasons. Either you have a dream or you're looking for a solution. And I'm really excited because we have that opportunity to fulfill both of those needs today, one or the other. A little bit about myself. My name is Brigitte. I'm a television host. I host a show in the States on combat sports, and I host a show on CHCH called The Watch List. And I've been doing this since I was 19. It's always been a dream of mine, but I've come to the point where it's kind of become a job as opposed to a career. It's a job to pay my bills because I've had so much student debt, like many of you possibly have. And yeah, I've lost that passion, and I haven't been fulfilled in a really, really long time. And Dave has been a friend of mine for about 3 years now. I met up with him for coffee about 4 months ago. 4 months ago. Dave for those of you who are familiar with him, he is just a powerhouse. This guy, you are. You are a trailblazer for a lot of people out there. He worked for, well, you'll tell your story in a bit.
I just advanced the slides
Oh,
so you can see the power.
Excellent. Okay, cool. He's an entrepreneur. You have your own podcast. He has a business with his partner, Blake Fleischheimer, and you're going to talk about that a little bit.
A little bit, but
Okay, I'm going to pump your tires.
I'm not going to talk a lot about it.
Okay, cool. Well, he knows what it takes to really become your own boss and create your own freedom. And so I went to him for some advice, and he's pretty much changed my life by introducing this opportunity to me. So I just want to introduce Dave. Go on, come on up and share your story and get right into it.
Thank you very much. Oh. I'm going to make sure I don't walk in front of that. So if I do, just wave at me, and I will make sure that I stay up here. Hello to everyone watching the live stream. Sorry you can't see the screen. Can we all just give a wave to the people in Huntsville and Ottawa? And perhaps Mississauga, I don't know. The people are all over here. It's not just me. Right now they think that I'm presenting to myself. So anyway, thank you so much to all of you for being here. It's a sloppy night, and you could be doing so many other things right now, and you found your way to this somewhat random location, the corporate office, to hear a presentation. And so I just want to begin. I'll get to my story in a little bit, but I just want to begin by making sure that we're all really in the right headspace. And so I found a video on YouTube that I wanted to share. And as this video plays, just kind of listen to the words, pay attention to the images, but really just pay attention to the images that come up in your mind for you and when you hear some of these ideas that are presented in the video. So I'll just start with this quick video. It's called Live Unbound.
There's something inside of us, blind to the forces that restrict our potential. It gives us the gift of unlimited ability. We use it to rise above ourselves, to reach the unreachable. But for most people, it's unattainable. Bound by fear, trapped inside the walls they build, asleep but never dead. We fight to awaken it. We fight to live unbound. Unbound from our debilitating thoughts. I can't. It's too risky. I'm afraid. That's impossible. If you think impossible exists, remember that we, the human race, are an impossibility in an impossible universe. We do have weaknesses, fears and doubts, but they're overpowered by psychological strength, by the most powerful directing force of our future, our belief. Fueled by this confidence, we redefine our limitations.
So redefining our limitations is really what this event here tonight is all about. And so you see the TGIM image up here. Thank God it's Monday. It's a little bit different than what we often hear. Thank God it's Friday. But to begin, I would invite you all, if you'd like, don't feel like you have to, I'm not going to throw anything at you, but just close your eyes, because you don't need to see these next few slides, and I will tell you when to reopen your eyes. So go for it if you want, but it is okay if you want to just keep watching. So just begin by imagining that every single day is your favorite day. So there's no enjoying Tuesday more than Saturday. There's no enjoying Friday more than Sunday night. Imagine that every day was your favorite day. So, what if every day was Friday, if Friday happens to be your favorite day? And now imagine that, let's just say that I told you tomorrow that time and money were of absolutely no consequence to you. that you could literally wake up tomorrow morning, take a pen, and customize your day. Every single aspect of it. And just to help make that a little bit clearer, think about these ideas. Where are you in the world? You're stripping away all limitations. You can be anywhere in the world that you want. Who are you with? Who are you surrounded by? How do you feel in your mind, in your body? How's your health? How much money are you earning? Be it on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, annual basis. What's that number? If you're stripping away all those limitations. How are you contributing to the world? So are there organizations that you've partnered with? Are there causes that you've rallied around that you otherwise wouldn't? Are there ideas or passion projects that you finally have executed because you now have the resources and the time to make it happen? And if you had to come up with a few words,
So sorry.
have a seat. If you had to come up with a few words to describe the culture of your life, what would those words be? If you had to pick 3 to 5 words to describe the culture of your life. And I want to take this idea that you've created of your ideal day, because this is exactly what you now have in front of you, is your ideal day, and extrapolate it. Stretch it to a month. You get to customize the next month of your life. Money and time are of no consequence to you. Who are you with? Where are you? What are you doing? How are you contributing? All those same questions. What are you doing week by week, day by day? And now, finally, think about a calendar year. I map out in front of you January to December. Time and money are of no consequence. How do you use that time? Where are you? What are you doing? Are you moving around? Are you stationary? Who are you hanging out with most of the year? Is it one person? Is it a group of people? How are you working? How are you giving? And on what scale are you giving and contributing to the world? Also, how would you describe the culture of your life? Now you can open your eyes and take a look at a few of the potential words that I might use to describe the culture of my ideal life, my ideal day. We're shifting into this time, I think, as a millennial generation, and yeah, there are people outside the millennial generation in this room tonight, so you guys are like honorary millennials tonight. And we're moving to a time where the old responsibility of simply earning a living is being replaced by the ideal of creating a life. A life not based on expectations or achievements or outdated notions of success, rather a life lived fully in line with who we are and the things we love. And that is truly why we're all here tonight. We're here to potentially completely shift our paradigm from earning a living to creating a life. And the two things are quite different. So we call this presentation, I've called this the new millennial life. How to customize a life that is full of travel, contribution, and freedom, and this part's important, in your 20s and 30s. Because these are 3 things that often we put so far into the future that we don't realize that we can actually design a life packed with this stuff starting right now, when we're young. And why shouldn't we do that when we're young? So just to check in with you guys, by show of hands, how many of you would just love to travel more in your life, see more of the world, and do it more often for longer periods of time? Okay. And by show of hands, how many of you would love to contribute in a bigger way, in some way, to an idea that's in your head? Maybe there's something like a passion project that you hold on to that you really haven't taken any action on, or there's an organization you just love to give your time or your money to. And finally, how many of you would just like to feel more free in your body, physically, mentally, spiritually perhaps, and just have more time and financial energy to be able to do stuff like that? Okay. So I'm just going to, as Brigitte suggested, just share my story very quickly. And for me, I graduated from high school. I went off to university like most of my friends, went to Western, and I studied classical music. So I got a degree in voice performance. I sang in operas and choirs, and that world for me was very familiar. I grew up with 2 parents who are music teachers. I graduated from Western, and then this is a picture of me a about 3 weeks after I graduated, I was in Baden by Wien, Austria, for 5 weeks at a really intensive voice program called the Schubert Institute, singing German art song for 5 weeks straight. Just before I had left to go, actually before I graduated, I had applied to Teachers College at University of Toronto and was accepted. I'd also gotten a job working for Apple in the retail department of Apple, out of the Sherway Gardens, just across the street, the retail store. And while I was in Austria learning how to sing better, I actually learned 2 more important things. I learned that, number 1, I did not want to be a teacher in the traditional sense. So I made that realization. I emailed U of T from Austria saying that I'm rejecting the offer. And I decided that I didn't want to pursue singing anymore. I was not done with singing and music, but I realized that the people that I was surrounded by in Austria were much more hardcore than I was, and that it wasn't going to happen for me. So I came home, and I told Apple, I'm going full-time. I'm all in. I'm going to sell millions of dollars worth of this stuff at the time. Now it's a limit. But then something happened. I worked for Apple for about 2 years, but about 1.5 years into that, I was loving it. I was having a good time. But that started to change very quickly. And I use this picture here of the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, because I woke up one morning and I said to my girlfriend Jenny, I said, it no longer takes courage for me to get up and go to work. It's too easy. And on that same note, I no longer required the maximum capacity of my mental capabilities to do my job. And I had very little passion left for the work that I was doing at Apple. I knew that there was more, and it was truly tearing me up inside and stressing me out like crazy. And some people in this room know that one of the ways that stress manifests in my body was my digestive system. And so what actually happened about 1.5 years in my time at Apple, I lost about 30 to 40 pounds in a matter of 2 weeks. I wasn't handling any food at all. I shriveled up. I had a customer come back to see me at Apple who had been a previous customer, and he was like, what happened to you? And I was completely embarrassed and humiliated, but this is what happened to me. My manager forced me essentially to take vacation time and go to Jamaica, so this is me in Jamaica, just trying to regain my health in some way. I only had about 7 days of vacation time, so that's what I took. I went to Jamaica with Jenny. I gained 12 pounds that week. It was great. My health instantly changed when I got to Jamaica. But fast forward now 4 years, just after Jamaica, I came home. I was working for Apple still. And then in August of 2010, I made the decision, a very scary one, to completely leave that job. I quit. And thanks to this company, Isogenics, which you're going to learn about later tonight, I'd already been on these products for a little while, but I was able to really get my health back to the level that I'm at now as a result of some of these products. And since that time, since the day that I left my job, I have now been able to fully customize a career that's completely catered to the things that I'm great at. So Small World is my social education company. Blake and I take an anti-bullying program and a social media etiquette and behavior program to schools across Ontario. We have a podcast for parents called The Parent Club on iTunes. A Few Good Men is a boys and men's choir that Neil sings in. Boys and men ages 7 to 28. That would not exist had I continued to work at Apple. There's now 50 boys in this choir. We started from 3 last year. Moving Millennials is the platform that this is really all centered in. That's a podcast primarily on iTunes, now 30 episodes deep, where I just interview young people who are entrepreneurs, who've decided to carve out their own path in life somehow. So this is now my career, and it looks so different than anything I would have ever imagined. And like I told my parents, I didn't want to be a teacher in the traditional sense, but I'm teaching in every aspect of my work right now, because I do love to teach. I just didn't want to fit into that system. The other thing that's happened since I left my job is that I've really not missed any family events for 4 years. This is at my grandparents' 60th anniversary in the summer. This is a picture of my sister Catherine and I in California. I took Catherine on a trip with Jenny to California this year. She'd always want to go to Hollywood. Catherine has Down syndrome. And part of my vision is, in partnership with my sister Karen, who couldn't be here tonight, I want to build this life for my family, and specifically for Catherine, long term, where we can really give her the life of her dreams. Jenny and I love to travel, so this is from a trip. We took a 5-week trip 2 summers ago, Ireland, and then a bunch of places in Europe. We leave in a few weeks for a 7-week trip again. We're going to Southeast Asia. And 2 years from now, we are planning that 12-month calendar year of travel. We'll be gone for the whole year. So let's just talk about traditional paths and expectations, because I think we all kind of get this trajectory here, and most of us grew up in this model. Go to school, go to university or college, get a job. Now this quadrant here, it's called the cash flow quadrant. I'm curious to know, by show of hands, just raise your hand if you're familiar with this basic concept. Like when you see this, it brings something up for you. You have an idea of what it is. Okay. Well, rather than just explaining it, I'm going to have Robert Kiyosaki explain it. Who's read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki? Or heard of the book Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I bought it today.
You bought it today?
Yeah. Right.
That's so crazy. It's crazy.
Well, you kept talking about it in your podcast.
But it's one of the. She's a podcast listener. This is Tiana. Everyone, say hi, Tiana.
Hi, Tiana.
Hi.
Thanks for coming. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is a book that I read years ago, and it completely changed my whole perspective on this stuff. I realized that I had to move from the left side to the right side. But now Robert Kiyosaki is going to teach you exactly what that means.
One of the more important lessons my rich dad taught me, he said there was 4 types of people in the world of business or money, whatever he said. And this here are the 4 different types of people, and he called this the cash flow quadrant. So E stands for employee, S stands for self-employed, small business or specialist like a doctor or a lawyer. B stands for big business, 500 employees or more, and I stands for investor. Now the distinction here is this, is that each of these are 4 different types of people. They have 4 different tax laws for all 4 different types of people, and this is throughout the world. But it was my poor dad who always said to me, son, go to school so you can get a job. So my poor dad wanted me to be an employee like him. There's nothing wrong with that and all this, except the tax laws are the worst for employees. As Warren Buffett says, he, as a business owner and investor, he pays a lower percentage rate than the employees. And many employees are having a tough time today. Not only is there high gas prices, but there's going to be higher taxes. My mother wanted me to become a doctor or a specialist or a small business person, and I said to my mom, S stands for smart. She just got a good point there because I didn't do well in school, so I wasn't going to make it there. It was my rich dad who advised me to become an entrepreneur or a big business owner like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs, Michael Dell, all those guys that created Facebook and Yahoo and all this, or Google. And he wanted me to become an investor. So he started me playing the game of Monopoly, 4 greenhouses, 1 red hotel. So I learned to be an investor, and I learned to be an entrepreneur.
So that just gives you sort of a quick tour of the cash flow quadrant. But I realized when I read Rich Dad Poor Dad that I had to move from the left side to the right side. I had to figure out how to not stop being an employee necessarily, but also find a way to jump to that right side. But this just takes you through a few more reasons why that employee quadrant can be challenging for a lot of people. Yet it's what we're sort of just taught to do as we grow up. As Kiyosaki said, it's definitely the most heavily taxed. And I had a guest in my podcast last week from Trinidad who runs a franchise in Trinidad and Tobago called Cash Flow Club. It's a franchise from Robert Kiyosaki, so he teaches this concept in like big seminars. And he said something, he said this line while I was interviewing, he said that business owners pay taxes after they get their money, and employees, they pay taxes before they get paid. And you have far less control if you're paying taxes before you get paid. The money's already gone, you don't even see it. Whereas business owners have much more control over what they do with their money, and they have a lower tax rate at the end of the day because they can write all kinds of things off. In the employee quadrant, there's always going to be a limit on how much money you can make. It doesn't matter how high paying the job is, there's always a cap. Because essentially you're trading your time for money, and the value of your time is being dictated by somebody else. So you may have a high paying job, but there's still a cap. There always will be. You're essentially selling your time. And the other thing, which is more of an economic issue that I'm not going to talk about tonight because I don't know enough, my buddy Jonathan does. Salaries, especially for our generation, it's very possible that the average salary going forward in the next decade, they won't keep up with the rate of inflation that our everyday expenses are going to skyrocket, right? And that's to be seen whether that's actually true, but it's possible. So there's this thing that a lot of people understand, and I think we all inherently understand this concept of residual income. And I think the easiest application and analogy for it is in, if you think about the movie industry or the music industry, when an artist creates an album and sells that through some sort of distribution channel, they do the work one time and they get paid for it over a long period of time. So that's royalty income in that situation. Essentially, residual income, other people call it passive income, is money or freedom money, essentially, that's coming in after you've done the work one time or after you've built something up. It's coming in on a regular basis, whether or not you continue to get up and do the work. That's residual income. And Art Jonak is a professional in our industry, and he says that if you understand residual income, you would walk through a brick wall to get it. And I really think this is true. And I learned this when I started doing work with isogenics years ago. Even though it was very little bit of money, I could see that this could scale very quickly, and I saw that it was passive, so it wasn't dependent on me getting up and going to work. But I think these beliefs are really important to examine too, because if you look at and just sort of reflect for yourself, you can sort of check in to see if any of these are true for you. But this one here, I think, is really important, that if you're young, it's okay to be broke. And I think our people in our generation tend to joke about this all the time, especially students coming out of school. That idea like, well, I'm a student, I'm broke, I have no money, haha. Like it's just this kind of, it's this joke, and they just kind of laugh at it. But my question is, why? Why is that okay? And obviously, we all start somewhere, but why not make a really poignant attempt to build wealth from the age of 18 years old? Who wouldn't want to do that? Yet, 99% of the population has this ingrained belief that they're meant to be broke in their 20s. And they're not going to have money until they're like 40, 50, 60. Then they'll have money, then they'll be able to do all those things, travel and contribute, leave legacy, etc. But we have this idea that if we work hard, save lots, we can enjoy retirement in our 60s. But the studies and the facts right now are actually predicting that our generation specifically will not be able to retire on average till about age 73, 74, 75. Mostly because of the student debt that we have that our parents' generation didn't have. This belief that, this office obviously runs on the 40-hour work week is something that we all sort of were sold and bought into back in the Industrial Revolution, which is still fine. There's still lots of reason to operate with the 40-hour work week. But individually, we don't have to buy into it. And has anybody read this book, The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss? A really powerful book as well. And he basically just suggests that we don't need to buy into this anymore, and that we can find ourselves working in a career in such a way that we're actually working more towards a 4-hour work week and still contribute in the same way, actually even in a bigger way than with a 40-hour work week. And this thing, I learned this lesson at Apple in a big way that, you're lucky to get 3 weeks vacation. I was going to have to work for 5 years at Apple to get 3 weeks vacation. I had 2 weeks when I started. So as soon as I came back from Jamaica, I'm there going to work every day, looking at my vacation time and realizing that I'm going to have to work another 5 months just to get another 5 or 6 days off, vacation time, which just didn't sit with me. And now I look at my year calendar, and I operate right now with 3 months vacation time in a year. And my work weeks, 30 hours would be like a high work week for me. And I still feel busy because I'm doing a lot of different things, but it's such a different paradigm. So I really think that we're at the beginning of one of the greatest entrepreneurial, cultural, and societal renaissances our world has ever seen, and that the age of the entrepreneur is upon us. And I really think that over the next decade, we're going to see the majority of the global workforce being in business for themselves in some way. And that's what my podcast is all about. That's what this whole movement is all about. So the question is simply, as a young person right now in your 20s, early 30s, what if you started right now? And why wouldn't you start that right now? If most of us are going to end up there anyway, and there are all these advantages to being there. So START is a global movement of young people. Now it's over 12,000 young people in about 11 different countries who've all come together to support each other, to grow, to provide each other with the tools, the training, the infrastructure, to basically step to that right side of the cash flow quadrant into entrepreneurship right now. And if you hashtag Start Your Life on any social media channel, you'll see thousands and thousands of people all over the world talking about this movement called START. And just to share the vision for START, simply to ignite all young people to own their lives physically and financially, and through our contributions, create freedom and a lasting legacy with the hashtag Start Your Life. So I now want to introduce you to someone who has been named one of the START ambassadors. Her name is Peta Kelly. She is from Perth, Australia. And you'll hear her story in just a second, but she's really the inspiration for this whole thing that we're starting here in Toronto. She started the same thing in Perth a couple of years ago. It started in her own apartment with like three to five people. And now on an average Wellness Wednesday in Perth, there are between 300 and 400 young people that show up, all just to learn about these exact concepts and how they can create this in their life. So here's Peta.
Hi, my name is Peta Kelly, and this is my office. It consists of beanbags, and also consists of a beach, which is right behind you. So I'm 25 years old, and I'm one of the very lucky ones who gets to live a life purely by my own design. And some of you may be thinking, what does that even mean? What it means is exactly what it suggests. I can wake up every day and do what I want, with who I want, when I want, to whatever extent I want, no matter how outrageous it is. So I can have this life now because I said yes to an opportunity, and I said yes to an industry. So before I started in this amazing industry, I was studying a PhD. I was being paid to research, and I really thought my life was destined to become a researcher, scholar, a scientist of some sort. Little did I know that I really could have the life of my dreams. And it was such a shift in my mindset. It's something that, you know, once you can unlock, really provides you unlimited potential for happiness and abundance. So I suggested this opportunity seriously 18 months ago. And in that time, I have literally had the most incredible journey, which has led me to the most incredible life. I've learned skills that I would never, ever have learned at university. I have learned stuff about myself. I've been given essentially financial freedom, which has enabled me to unlock my personal excellence in all areas. It's enabled me to become who I really want to become, to contribute to the world exactly how I want to contribute to the world, to give, to live, to play, to travel all the time, to just live the exact life that any young person should be entitled to live with no limitations. So this industry has given me a life that most can only dream about, but it's something that it shouldn't be the case. Everybody should have this life. Everyone should have unlimited choice. This year I get to retire my single mom of 4. I get to pay off her mortgage and bring her home so that she can live the next 10, 20, 30 years of her life stress-free. There's nothing that beats that. I just wish for everybody to have a look at this opportunity, because every young person deserves unlimited choice, abundant, and their most phenomenal, outrageous life.
So I completely agree with Peta in that every young person should have the ability to live with no limitations, to design an outrageous life, to travel, to contribute, to give, and all that stuff. I don't think it's because of a lack of a vision or, the fact that we can't dream and create our ideal life that more of us aren't doing this, but it's really just because for most people, they don't know how. They've never been presented with a vehicle, with a path from point A to B. So while the vision is really what this is all about, it's all about your own vision. And what's cool about this with START is that every person in startup, the 12,000 and growing people, everyone has their own vision. Everyone's vision is completely different. And that's what you want to focus on. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a vehicle that's going to take you from point A to point B. And so the industry and profession that Peta's alluding to, that you may have heard of before, maybe you've experienced before, is called network marketing. And this is a quote from Peta's her CD series, which is brilliant. It's called Forever Young and Financially Free, Mindset of a Gen Y Boss. And she says in this, at the very beginning of the CD series, that she wholeheartedly believes that network marketing is the way forward for the younger generation. And I completely agree with that. Kiyosaki, going back to Mr. Rich Dad Poor Dad, says that the richest people in the world look for and build networks, and that everyone else looks for a job. And if you think about this and apply it to every successful business person that you can think of, anyone like Zuckerberg or Jobs or Bill Gates, just to take the easy ones, but there's tons of examples. They've all found a way to build a network that can scale to infinity, right? Yet the rest of us, we're out looking to trade our time for money, which is, again, nothing wrong with that, but there are some definite downsides to that. So the question then becomes, how do we do that? And what do we build a network of? For people in the tech industry, it's a network where they can distribute software or hardware through it. It's a network of restaurants. It's a network of stores, retail stores, franchises, whatever it is. In network marketing, it's simply a network of people. And if you think about the way that everything is structured in 2014 with social media, that makes an awful lot of sense. If you can find a way to move a product line that genuinely impacts people's lives and makes people's lives better, if you can move a product line through a network of people that can scale to infinity, it makes a whole lot of sense. So these are just some of the reasons why I think network marketing is awesome. But before I even get to these, one of the most important things about it, I think, is that it truly gives you the opportunity to jump from the left side to the right side of the cash flow quadrant without quitting your job. Because this thing here tonight, this isn't about, oh, go quit your job and, just go for it. You can do that if you want to. That's a personal choice. But it's really about this, how do we get to that right side of the cash flow quadrant and still do what we're doing, and then when we find ourselves in a place to be able to leave that left side of the quadrant, then we just choose to do that because we can. So that to me is the #1 reason that network marketing is so powerful. The other thing is that when most people set off to become entrepreneurs, and I'll just use myself as an example. 3 years ago, with Blake, I put together a program called the Acoustic Opera, which is an anti-bullying program that we take to schools. We've been very successful with that. We've been to done the show 450 times in like 150 schools. However, though it feels like it's our business, it's really not a business. We have created a high-paying manual labor job for ourselves at this point. And that's true. I talk like this all the time, and we're both on the same page. We're now trying to figure out, okay, how do we take what we've built, which is really cool and fun, but how do we make that a business? The reality is it's really difficult to create from the ground up an infrastructure and framework that actually scales like a true business. Most people, they can find a way to provide a service and trade that for money and provide a job. But if you think about even medical doctors, chiropractors, people that have practices for themselves, they have also created for themselves a high-paying manual labor job. They're only as good as the next appointment or the last appointment. So just very quickly to go through these other points about why network marketing rocks so much. It taps into the unlimited capacity of humans to share and talk, especially our generation. There's unlimited income potential. It's made for social media. Really, it's so perfect. It fits with Facebook and Twitter and all those social platforms so easily. And our generation made social media. Everyone is a leader. So everyone comes in at the top of their own organization and gets to develop and grow their own team. It's the fairest business model that I've ever seen. You work when you want, where you want, with people you choose. Choose your hours. It's all on your time. The culture is unlike anything I've ever seen. There was an amazing culture at Apple. It pales in comparison to the culture of Isogen. It's not even close. You're essentially getting paid to travel more, give in a bigger way, impact more people, and live more fully. So it's pretty sweet. Now, I get to bring up this guy. A couple of years ago, I was introduced to Shamus randomly through a friend that I went to school with, and he'll share more of that story. But Shamus is someone who caught this vision very, very quickly and understood these concepts already a little bit, and we've partnered up in the last couple of years, and we're building something pretty special together. So I'm honored to have him on my team. Shamus is a father of 2 beautiful girls. Just became a father for the 2nd time like a month ago. 2 months. 2 months ago. Time flies. And I'll give you this. Just swipe what you want to. Okay? Congrats. So, Shamus Fynes. Hey, Dave. I'm a dad enthusiast and a solar energy. Nope, solar energy enthusiast and dad. Good. I just made that up. I didn't know it was true. It's good.
So what Dave's really talking about is you saying, hey, I got a plane. We're going to Jamaica. Who's coming with? He will say, I'm going with you. I'm going with you. How do we get there? Isogenics is how we get there. Isogenics is literally the fuel that takes us there. This gentleman right here, Eric Coover, the co-founders of Isogenics, Jim and Kathy Coover. This is their son, Eric, and he is the mastermind behind this start group, which is now over 12,000 young people strong between 18 and 35.
Hey, my name is Zach Slobin, and this is my wife, Eden. Now, just putting it out on the table, I was completely done with network marketing. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was totally retired, but I was open to getting on Isagenix products because I wanted to get back in shape. And so the boring part of our story is that I lost 20 pounds of fat, dropped 3 jean sizes, and I went from 15% body fat to 8.75% body fat in just 60 days. But who hasn't done that on Isagenix? So I wanted nothing to do with the business, though, whatsoever. And quite frankly, the reason we're even on this video, well, it's her fault.
Well, when Zach and I first started dating, he started bringing me shakes. I didn't even know Isagenix was a network marketing company. I knew nothing about it.
I didn't want her to know it was a network marketing company. I was worried that she'd have prejudgments about me. Some of you might be able to relate to that.
Well, lucky for him, I absolutely love the idea of network marketing. I just never knew of a product that actually worked and that everybody I knew would benefit from. So the moment he introduced me to Isagenix, I fell in love with the products right away. And it wasn't until a couple months later that I found out it was a network marketing company and there was actually an opportunity to make money with it.
I did a really good job hiding it.
Well, once I found out, I took off and running right away because at the time, and this was only a year ago, I was working at a corporate job that I absolutely hated. I had been there for over 7 years. I spent 9 hours a day confined to a box and at least 2 hours a day in my car on the freeway. I was just absolutely miserable. And within 4 months of sharing Isagenix, I was able to replace my 6-figure income.
And we decided to partner up. In less than a year, we both replaced our 6-figure incomes. We've assisted over 600 people, but here's what we're most passionate about. We're most passionate about you. If you're watching this video, it's because you're between the ages of 18 to 35. And people deserve to have a better way. You were not put here to do somebody else's job for them. You were put here to do something great with your life. And what better gift to give somebody else than to get them the healthiest that they've ever been and to put them in a position to earn enough passive income to outweigh their expenses, which I'm 32, Eden's 30, and to be able to have that kind of lifestyle is such a gift.
And Isagenix is really, it's just the best company that there is when it comes to the leadership and the tools and the products and everything that we're able to have because they provided it for us. It's just so incredible. We're all set up for tremendous success. And like Zach said, we're just so passionate about all of you, the 18 to 35-year-olds. This is a movement. We're doing it completely differently than our parents did. What they did worked for them. It doesn't work for our generation. It just doesn't. There's a better way. You get to design your own life. You get to start your life today. And you get to help as many people as you want to along the way.
So that little rebel yell that you have screaming and fluttering that people used to try and hold down, well, scream it from the rooftops and we're going to join you. Come on with us and come start your life.
Well, I'm in. I love how Zach said the boring part. The boring part of the story is, you know, I lost 10 pounds and I added some muscle. Would it be all right if I shared the boring part with you guys of my story? So, as Dave alluded to, 2.5 years ago, we were introduced. At that point, I was feeling tired. I was feeling bloated, overwhelmed, underwhelmed, and I was introduced to Isagenix by a friend of a friend. And he just said, hey, listen, I know you kind of take care of yourself and you might be looking for a quick, convenient option. Why don't you give it a ring? Put the products in my body, week and a half later, dropped 13 pounds of fat, added some muscle energy, went through the roof, and I thought, oh, this is cool. Naturally, people started asking me questions, and obviously I wanted to help them. So I did, and I just started sharing Isagenix, and then I realized that it fit perfectly with all the things that I had been taught, you know, Tim Ferriss, Robert Kiyosaki, all this stuff. It just instantly fit in. And now I'm on a mission to help people lead epic lives. And that stands for more enjoyment, more prosperity, more impact, and more contribution. So, the great thing about Isagenix is that it's not any new money. People say, I don't have money for that. Well, you're already spending the money. You're just redirecting. So whether you shop at Loblaws, Whole Foods, GNC, Costco, eating out, all you're doing is transferring some of that money into your own Isagenix store. Anybody here have Tim Hortons, Starbucks? Yeah? Need your morning vitamin C? Great substitute. E+ shots? Perfect. Healthy energy? Redirect. Again, skincare. Ladies, gents, skincare. Again, your store has that. These are just pictures of the products, people enjoying them. And these are a few of the start people. These are a few results. And as you can see, they're all pretty awesome. Greg Coleman's from Kelowna. He's our Ice-A-Body Grand Champion 2 years ago. Won $25,000 just for getting in shape, putting isogenics in his body, taking part in the Ice-A-Body Challenge. Caitlin, Crystal, etc., etc. And Alexis was actually supposed to be here, and she was going to share her story, but I think she got held up. So I'm actually wondering, Vin, you want to share your story? Would you share your story, please?
Yeah, it's short and sweet. Basically, I'm a nutritionist. I'm a holistic nutritionist, and Brigitte is my brother's girlfriend of 6 years, and they went on the program, and I just saw a huge transformation of things that I couldn't help them. They'd come over, and I'd be like, take this vitamin, take this, take that. You guys would say, no, I don't take pills or whatever, and then I saw them do this, so I realized this was a powerful system. I tried it, and then I lost 10 pounds, more energy, and now I'm just putting everybody on it, just telling everybody about it, really, because it works. And even people that you have to pull teeth with, like, I can't believe what I'm seeing.
So in your professional nutritionist opinion?
Yeah.
It checks out.
They're very clean products, and it's the reason it works is because it is a system. It doesn't miss anything. You've got ionics to take care of the problem of cortisol and stress, which is why people are sick. And mineral deficiency. You have lean protein from the gold standard in the industry for whey protein, New Zealand bovine. And it goes on. Snacks are taken care of. Their multivitamins amazing. Their fish oils, pharmaceutical grade, again, highest standard for fish oils. Everything's really, really impressive.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So, there's a few different options if you feel like you want to get started. Those people that really connect with the vision and really get it, really want to jump right to the B side, right to the I side of that quadrant, Business Builder Pack is the way to go. This is a great family pack. It gives you a couple different systems, $37 a day, delivered to your door, food for the whole family, free membership, free blender, it's a tax write-off. It's a great way to go. Most people start with the President's Pack. It's the most popular pack. Now, Isogenics is a solutions-based company. So we have solutions for weight loss, energy and performance, healthy aging, and wealth creation. There's actually a fifth President's Pack, or a fourth President's Pack for the Rejuvenity for the skincare. Best bet is this one. It replaces 68 meals, healthy snacks, again, free membership and blender, $20 a day, delivered to your door in 2 days by UPS. And then there's also the Pacesetter Pack. Comes with a little bit less things. You don't get the multivitamins and stuff. $14 a day. Basically, the point is, there is an option for every single price point. The great thing about Isogenics is people say, how much is Isogenics? Well, it's free or it's free. And what that means is there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you put the food in your body, it doesn't give you the results you want, you don't like it, you send it back. 30-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. And we've had people do that. Well, had great results, and they've been like, oh, well, I'm still sending it back. But there's people that, they buy the stuff and it doesn't work super. They buy the best computer and it's not quite lightning quick enough, and they send it back. But I've only had that happen once out of 200 people. The other way it's free is that if you decide that this is good, we can show you how to get your products for free. We have a really simple system called U plus 2, then plus 2, which helps you help your people get their products for free and helps you get your product for free. Lastly, you don't have to see the full staircase. Just take the first step. That's it. So if you're connecting with any of the things that we've been talking about, that Dave's been sharing about the new Millennial Life, and you want to get started, we can help you with that. We have enrollment forms. We can show you what to do. We can answer any questions. But that's basically it. Now, this is the inaugural Wellness Wednesday, but every Wednesday, right here, 7:30, 290 North Queen Street, Suite 215, for those of us viewing online. And bring your friends. Thanks a lot. Dave, nice job.
And this piece here is really important from the standpoint of one of the biggest hurdles that I have to work with everybody that joins onto my team is that they don't often question the legitimacy factor of Isogenics or even the profession. The most common thing is that people question their own ability to do this because it's new and it's definitely stepping outside of the comfort zone for most people. So that's why we're building this right here, so that if you decide that you want to get started and you're not sure what to do, your only job, whether it's next week or the week after or whatever, is to just bring a couple of friends to this event and you're in business. I mean, that's it. And whether they decide to go for it, or that's a separate thing altogether. But just bring them out, and I really have a vision, just like Peter Kelly in Perth, Australia, to have eventually easily outgrow this space, but have 300 people in front of us, where we're all essentially leading this massive movement of young people who are fully customizing their life in every category with no limitations. So thanks to Brigitte for hosting tonight, that wonderful introduction. Thanks to Shamus for that last piece. Thanks everyone tuning in online. And thanks for space. Thanks to Connergy. Yes, solar. Solar energy. Woo! That's it. And now it's. Yeah. And if you have any questions, like any specific questions, chat with the person that asked you to come out here tonight, and they'll probably have an answer. If they don't, they'll find one. So the internet has most of the answers. Really, Google knows. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Should I shut that off?
There's some ice in there.